Hello, friends. I'm going to read a story to you today called Alfie's Feet by Shirley Hughes. Alfie's Feet. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had roast beef, and this little piggy had none. And this little piggy cried, wee, 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 all the way home. Alfie had a little sister called Annie Rose. Alfie's feet were quite big. Annie Rose's feet were rather small. They were all soft and pink underneath. Alfie knew a game he could play with Annie Rose, counting her toes. Annie Rose had lots of different ways of getting about. She went forwards crawling and backwards on her behind, and she liked to slide about very fast on her potty, skidding round and round on the floor and in and out of the table legs. Annie Rose had some new red shoes. She could walk in them a bit if she was pushing her little cart or holding on to someone's hand. When they went out, Annie Rose wore her red shoes, and Alfie wore his old brown ones. Mom usually helped him put them on because he wasn't very good at doing the laces yet. If it had been raining, Alfie liked to go stamping about in the mud and walking through puddles. Splish, splash, splosh. Do you like to go through puddles? I know I do. Then his shoes got rather wet. So did his socks, and so did his feet. So, one Saturday morning, Alfie and Mum went to a big shop in the high street. They bought a pair of shiny yellow new boots for Alfie to wear when he went stamping about in mud and walking through puddles. Alfie was very pleased. He carried them home himself in a cardboard box. When they got in, Alfie sat down at once and unwrapped his new boots. He put them on all by himself and walked about in them, stamp, stamp, stamp. He went into the kitchen to show Mum and Dad and Annie Rose, stamping his feet all the way. Stamp, stamp, stamp. The boots were very smart and shiny, but they felt funny. Alfie wanted to go out again right away, so he put on his Mac, and Dad took his book and his newspaper, and they went off to the park. Alfie stamped a lot of mud and walked through a lot of puddles. Splish, splash, splosh. He frightened some sparrows who were having a bath. He even frightened 2 big ducks. They went hurrying back to their pond, walking with their feet turned in. Oh, poor ducks. Alfie looked down at his feet. They still felt funny. They kept turning outwards. Dad was sitting on a bench. They both looked at Alfie's feet. Suddenly, Alfie knew what was wrong. Do you know what was wrong? Dad lifted Alfie onto the bench beside him and helped him take off each boot and put it on the other foot. And when Alfie stood down again and his feet didn't feel a bit funny anymore. Did you ever put the wrong shoes on the wrong feet? It does feel funny, doesn't it? After tea, Mum painted a big black R on one of Alfie's boots and a big black L on the other to help Alfie remember which boot was which. The R was for right foot and the L was for left foot. The black paint wore off in the end, and the boots stopped being new and shiny, but Alfie usually did remember to get them on the proper way round after that. They felt much better when he went stamping about in mud and walking through puddles. And of course, Annie Rose made such a fuss about Alfie having new boots that she had to get a pair of her own to go stamping about in too. Splish, splash, splosh. The end. Hope you liked that story. I like to go out in the puddles sometimes. hope you can get a chance to do that too sometime soon. Maybe the snow will melt. Bye, my friends.